All right, good afternoon and welcome to our channel. Today, I'd like to talk about homeownership in terms of federal housing and Section 8. And I know that some of you are curious as to know, whether or not if you presently own a home and want to know if you can participate in using your voucher for that home as well as homeownership and potential HOTMA rules that may affect both of these concepts. So in this video, this was what we're going to try to cover. For those of you that may have a learning disability or trouble keeping track with how quickly I move through this video, you'll see that we keep notes, complete notes in the description, as well as the comment section below. But before I get started, let me switch over screens here real quick. And then put up a little company information. You can see me here up to the right. So my name is Jay. I am the owner of section8consulting.com. And as you can see from the top of the screen, we have a phone number, a company address, as well as our email. Our office is strictly by appointment, and it's very low cost. But if you're having trouble navigating the system or don't fundamentally understand policies and procedures and rules, regarding this matter or any other matter across the U.S. in federal housing, Section 8, or low-income housing, reach out to us. All right, let's get on to the premise of the video. I'm going to bring up some notes for you guys. Again, the notes will be posted in the bottom. So, yes, but the answer depends on whether, you own the home or whether you're participating in a home ownership program. So as we look at number one, using Section 8 to purchase a home is a great potential. The Housing Choice Voucher Homeownership Program allows eligible voucher holders to purchase a home and use monthly voucher assistance towards the approval of homeownership and expenses. However, each public housing authority, which is geographically located in most counties throughout the U.S., will choose whether to offer this option, meaning that all housing authorities will allow you to use your Section 8 voucher or housing towards the purchase of a home. So you may find there may be a limited number of places around the nation will accept it. You can look at the availability of that and whether or not your PHA may carry that through HUD's HCV Homeownership Program linkage we're going to put up for you guys. In addition to that, the assistance may help with approved expenses such as mortgage, principal, interest, property taxes, home ownership, insurance, utilities, PHA approved maintenance or major repair allowances, along with condominium and cooperative fees and certain disability related accessibility improvements, better known as accommodations and modifications to the property. The payment, and generally the lower of, is as they consider it, the applicable payment standard minus the housing's total tenant payment, or approved monthly homeownership expense minus the household total tenant payment. So what I'm trying to explain to there is, if you have a voucher and you use it with a landlord, you have your portion, and then obviously the part that's covered by the Public Housing Authority, better known as a PHA. The same in principle rules will apply to a home if you use that voucher to purchase a home. You're going to pay your tenant portion of your own mortgage, and the housing authority will carry on and paying its portion, okay? So the general eligibility requirements a household usually must have the following: be admitted to the housing choice voucher program, use a housing authority that offers homeownership option, be considered a first-time home buyer within the last 2 years, complete HUD-approved homeownership counseling, meet the minimum income requirements, meet employment requirements. Unless you are elderly or disabled, a different exception applies, okay? And so also to qualify for an acceptable mortgage financing, typically PHA public housing authorities will have a list of approved lenders. You cannot simply go to any loan shark in order to purchase a home utilizing your voucher. In addition to that, purchase an eligible home that passes both PHA inspection and independent professional inspection, which is usually required by the bank. You can also meet with any additional requirements in the PHA's administrative plan. If you want to know what your PHA or Public Housing Authority's administrative plan says about home ownership, your participation, and those requirements, you may do a Freedom of Information Act, mail that to that housing authority, and generally between 10 and 14 days, they'll respond back either with mailing you the pages that describe their administrative plan, or they may send you a digital copy. I recommend you getting this stuff emailed to you so there is not that much administrative burden. Therefore, you won't be levied with a several $100 bill because you have them printed out. Okay. For this program, the first time home ownership program generally means that no household member has owned a residential property during the previous 3 years as of recent. Special provisions exist for displacement of homemakers, single parents, cooperative members, and some households needing the option as disability-related accommodation. So you want to look under Title 24, which is Codified Regulation 982627. And again, I'll link that up for you guys. The federal minimum income test is generally for most households, the federal income wage multiplied by 2,000 hours, and for a disabled family, the monthly federal SSI benefit for an individual multiplied by 12. If you want to know more about that, I would advise booking an appointment with my office because sometimes this goes down a rabbit hole, and in order for me to explain to you, it would take a little while. Okay. PHA may also establish a higher income standard through certain mortgage-approved families, and may still qualify under federal rule. Non-elderly and also non-disabled households ordinarily must demonstrate at least 1 year of continuous full-time employment, averaging at least 30 hours per week, and self-employment may count. So, the storyline here really is, guys, whether you're on a fixed income and you're a senior in your 80s, whether you're in a wheelchair and you receive disability and you're not working, or whether you go out and you clock into a job 30 or 40 hours a week, this whole program was designed for people that don't have a great deal of money, which means you should seriously consider this. It would be better for the PHA to pay your mortgage versus you go and do this on a voucher and they pay the landlord's mortgage. You pick. You want to pay your landlord's mortgage or yours? Because if they're paying yours, that means you have a home in equity, right? So, and then what other program in America is going to pay the vast majority of your mortgage? This is one of the rare jewels out there. So, graduating from the Section 8 voucher into home ownership is rather ideal. Moving on from there, the PHA may establish a higher income standard, although certain mortgage pre-approved families may still qualify under federal rule. And again, we covered that lightly, but you should also take a look at the administrative plan as mentioned before. So let's get on to the critical asset of this video. So you're already owning a home and where you live. So the regular rental voucher cannot be used to pay rent on a home owned by the assisted family's federal voucher, according to federal voucher rules. So, in other words, if you already own a home, you can't turn around and then ask the public housing authority to continue to pay your mortgage that way. Okay, so the answer is no, and this can be found under Title 24, Code of Federal Regulation 982551, subsection J, and I'll link that up for you. Therefore, somebody who already owns and occupies a home generally cannot have a regular rental voucher pay that home's mortgage. The household may need to qualify under the PHA specific HCV Homeownership Program, and the purchase must ordinarily be approved before homeownership assistance begins. So, if you already own a property, that's not going to work out. If you don't have a property and you're willing to go through HCV's rules, policies, and program, then yes, you can do that. Okay, so hopefully that absolves the answer permanently. Moving on from there, we're going to talk about a few hot member restrictions, and then I will place the additional notes about in the video to prevent this from being too long of a video. Under hot member regulation, Section 8 assistance may be denied when a household has a net family assets exceeding 100,000 threshold, or owns a residential property that the household has a legal right to occupy, sell, and that is suitable for the family to live in. And the reason I bring that up is if you have a Section 8 voucher plus a property you're renting out in an unusual circumstance, if your assets equal 100,000, they'll just kick you out the program. So that will not work either for those that are probably planning on asking me. The property may be considered unsuitable for when a family may be considered unsuitable when it does not the household's members does not have a disability related need. It's too small for the family. It is where it's geographically located causes a hardship. It is unsafe or cannot be repaired and cannot legally be occupied by a resident. So I don't think that's going to be the circumstance for most of you, but I'm going to put up HOTMA rules as well as VA related circumstances. And the VA is not for the veterans, but rather VAWA for domestic violence under Title 24, 5618. And final announcement, as of August 1st, 2026, HUD has announced the most Most non-moving to work PHAs must apply all HOTMA sections 102 and 104 requirements to transactions effective January 1st, 2027 or later. Some agencies will begin the HOTMA information during the fall of 2026 for January recertifications, while moving to work and certain other PHAs may require separate implementation of schedules. And I'm going to post the HUD notice PIH 2026-15. The reason I'm bringing up again more HOTMA is this is going to greatly impact how homeownership works going forward starting in 2027. And so, in essence, if I make a video regarding HUD homeownership, it will be very different and under new rules starting January 1st of 2027. Guys, I've enjoyed talking with you. I will include also citations in the bottom so you can verify the information for yourself, along with all applicable links there. But, the two core elements here are if you don't own a home and you want to participate in home ownership, that's a really good idea. If you already own a home, they're not going to issue a voucher to pay your rent or your mortgage at that home that you own, okay? It simply does not work out. So I hope we've concluded that answer. In addition to all of these things considered, home ownership is going to make some rather serious changes starting January 1st, 2027, and therefore you should understand and digest the information under HOTMA's new rules so that you don't get caught in a mix here. I've enjoyed talking with you guys. We make EDUs or educational videos twice a day, most days of the week, and we do live videos for Q&A and news on Tuesdays, Thursdays, and Sundays around 10 a.m. Central Standard Time. I've enjoyed talking with you. Enjoy your week. Bye for now.